stay. She can stay. Anyway. So you can keep it in chlorine. Yeah, chlorine as well. Or hydrogen. I don't know what other sterile gases are in the game at the minute. I don't know if any of the new ones are sterile. How you regulate the temp in there. I'm not really. The only way I'm sort of regulating the temperature... Got some slime in here. Get this out of here. The only way I'm sort of regulating the temperature is with these Weezeworts underneath. But I'm not really cooling this room all that much. The fried mushrooms going in these fridges, and they're obviously quite warm, so... Can we get a heat overlay of your base? Yeah, it's quite toasty at the minute. So here's the main body of the base. Here's our toilets that are now warming the base up a little bit. This is a bit that we've only just built, so it's not really sorted yet. But yeah, it's not the coldest. It's not as pleasant as it would normally be. I'd normally aim for like a nice, comfortable 20 degrees around the base, but meh. We're not doing any cooling yet, really, apart from a couple of Weezeworts here and there, so meh. It's fine. The dupes are durable. You can take it. Okay. Let's see if we found anything with any of these little explory digs. Where did we explore to before? We dug up here, didn't we? We don't appear to have found shit all up here. Got an oxylite spiral here, which I don't know if that counts as one of our POIs. I don't think it does. I hope it doesn't. Didn't I do some digging before? Oh, they've not done this yet because I've cocked up. Dig that out. Get that gone. Oh, we dug a bit more over here. So yeah, I think this is only a little babby biome down here. I don't think we can find much else out of this corner. But let's see, we'll do a bit of this. Just to be safe, we'll go for a little wander down here. I don't want it to be like a priority 8 though. It should be fine. Not too bad. If I win, just tell me tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you what. We're probably going to end the thing shortly, but I'll advertise it on Discord and Twitter, buddy, so you'll know. And I'll have to send you the key anyway if you win. So, but yeah, take it easy, buddy. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for the bits, Beamer. On it is appreciated, bud. For your 501. I don't ever forget the 1. So yeah, sleep well, bud. Your hydrogen generators keep breaking. Is it incorrect gas or what's breaking them? Are you pumping in oxygen or hydrogen? Shit, this is giving everybody hypothermia. I kind of knew it would, but bastard. I don't want an outbreak of hypothermia, to be honest. Hassan, no. You're gonna get the thermias. Yeah, check your filter, buddy. You might be sending oxygen to it instead of hydrogen. Okay. I can dig this and mop this stuff. And I might just drop this in here for now. Yeah. We run out of algae again. Oh no, we've run out of ceramic. That's fine. We're close to running out of algae. We've got like 3 tons again, but it's fine. So we'll just get rid of that. We've trapped some polluted oxygen here, so this water will never move away, so we'll have to dig this out. But that's okay. Okay. I'm conscious that we are using some of these packets of algae whilst I'm messing about. So I should really figure out what I'm going to do with this. So I think the next thing I want to do, I'm going to use those ATNs, I think, for cooling some liquid. I think that makes more sense. The problem is I'm not going to be able to cool... I'm not going to be able to use the ATNs until I get some hydrogen. I do have a few little pockets of hydrogen kicking around, but not massive amounts. A lot of it's sort of been lost up here. Got a few little pockets here and there, but just not very much. My thinking is if I dig out these ATNs, I might be onto a winner. Jesus. I was going to let this oxygen come in here, but it'll make it an absolute nightmare. Because my guys aren't going to want to work down here. There's no oxygen. It's barely... Well, there's a little bit here and there, but they're not going to like it. Not going to like it at all. So let's put some ladders and stuff in here so we can get this cleared out quickly. We're going to need to do quite a bit of digging down here. Let's see. I don't need to do all these ladders. Just hop up to there. Alright. Now, thankfully, we can get rid of a lot of these things. What we can't get rid of is these, like, stupid lamps, these ladders and stuff like that. We just can't remove those, I don't believe. Again, unless this is something that's been changed that I'm unaware of. But what we're going to do, we're going to want to get rid of all this icy crap that's around here. Dig all this out. Which won't actually take that long, it's just the problem is there's no oxygen down here, which kind of makes things a bit of a ball ache. In terms of dupes getting stuck and hopping around and all the crap that comes with it. But we do want to get this dug out. Yeah, we'll get all this crap going. All this can go. And likewise, we'll go into here and get rid of all this stuff. Cool. So that's a big old project for them to be dealing with. There's a very good chance I'm going to get somebody killed at this point, because there isn't that many pockets of oxygen down here, and I'm asking them to dig through ice and snow, and it always goes wrong, let's face it. It just always goes wrong. That'll be fine. Because obviously we need to get some liquid through here before we can really start using this, so. Fire up smoke 2 in the wild for the hydrogen. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe doing that down here, Mex. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, we could dump the oxygen for now. Let's get some of this dug out first so I've got some space to play with. And let's slap a fire pole in down here as well, because that'll make it a lot quicker. They've got the worst route to get down here at the minute. Let's just extend this down a bit further. I don't really want to have a ladder here at all. It's probably going to be on the outside of the base ultimately. Let me just figure out what I'm doing. I'll probably have the same sort of exit like we've done over here, which is basically like a poor man's airlock. Although I should have done it one lower, really. Should have done it one lower. Make it a bit quicker coming in and out. Question: game still gets laggy in late game? Yes. Not as badly in fairness, but it does still get laggy. Okay, rip this out. I don't even think these are connected, are they? Not even connected, these manual generators. Jesus. That's fine. That is fine. It's not like we're using very much power. These transformers are barely toggling on. There we go. So yeah, the reason I was looking at this just now is because we'll do another lock here. I think. Hold on. 1, 2. Yeah, you can stay. You can stay. Let's go there. So we're going to have a ladder down here. Yeah, fuck it. It's going all the way down here. Big old ladder. Have you seen the jetpack pathing, by the way, Saturnus? Which Unga was showing us it the other day. Have you looked at the pathing on the jetpacks yet? It's quite interesting. Okay. Probably start taking some more dupes at this point, I think. Let's enable this. Let's get some more dupes in. We've got plenty of food. We're going to have oxygen at some point. Oh shit, my smooth hatch have started hatching. Where can I put a place for smooth hatches, guys? Don't get me started on how bad that'll be for lag. It was a picture that Wachunga shared with us, to be honest, that sort of summed it up quite nicely. It was pretty rough. Pretty rough. Looks interesting, like, but it does look also dangerous. Yeah, I think I might need to do a save and load in a minute, by the way. We are getting a little bit of lag now. Excuse me, we're getting a little bit of lag. That chlorine build-up down here, I know. Yeah. It'll be fine. We'll remove a lot of this crap in a minute. Like all these platforms can go in a sec. It'll be fine. Right, let's check the jobs thing. Oh, good night, hamster. Take it easy. Take it easy. 100 player breathes deeply. Don't be breathing in the chlorine, 100. Jesus. Hassan has been leveled up again. What have you done, Hassan? Hassan, are you a yokel? Because that makes me incredibly sad if you are. Oh well. Let's put Hassan on tidy. Because yeah, they get more strength. Why not? Yeah, sleep well, hamster buddy. Much love as ever, mate. Actually, I don't really want to release that hydrogen yet. I might want this hydrogen in a bit, so we'll leave that for now. I can't decide whether I want to use smooth hatches for starters. I probably should instead of using the rock granulator that I'm currently using. Smooth hatch would be better for that. Cannot decide. Probably should. I mean, it will be a lot better, but meh. It's where to do it space-wise. Could make a little place from down here, maybe. A smooth hatch is a 1-to-1. No, they're 0.75. But they're better than a granulator. But with a granulator, you get sand. That's the trade-off. So with a granulator, you lose 50% of the resources, but you get some back as sand. With smooth hatches, it's 0.75, if you like, you get back. And I got another question. Is open bases like this objectively better for oxygen flow than closed bases that rely on gas pipes to transport oxygen around? Nothing wrong with closed bases at all, Timothy. It's just not something I do. I like to have it very open, and then things that need to be closed off can be closed, like these sorts of builds. But the base itself I normally have very open. The only thing that it does help with, and I will be straight with you, if you have a closed base and many airlocks and doors and only certain dupe access and stuff like that, it can really help with your pathfinding for your dupes. Because obviously I've got, dupes have got many different ways of pathing around my base, which means that there's more calculations they're doing when they decide they want to go from A to B. Do you see what I mean? So if you've got a dupe down here, he can go up this ladder and then he's got a calculation to make. Then he's got a calculation to make, and so on and so on. So yeah, having closed bases with only certain points of access, and also having doors that only have one path of flow can really help. So having like only 1 or 2 entrances to your base can really help with late game lag and stuff as well. But I wouldn't worry too much about that yet, to be honest. I'd get yourself into the game and just start playing some colonies. You might not see the late game for a while, so just get yourself into it to begin with. That's what I would recommend. And again, be prepared to fail a few times. If you fail, it's not a problem. Just learn from it. Okay. So we've started doing good work on this ladder and stuff, but I'd like them to do the fire pole as well. And then my dupes will be able to fly down here a lot quicker. Which will be good. I don't know why they're mining this instead of doing this. It's because they've yet to deliver the materials. Lyra. What do we want Lyra to do? Let's get you on groundskeeper as well. Got a few dupes that are going to level up in a minute. No problem with temperature for you, is it because you've sealed off all the nearby geysers? I do have a few issues with temperature, to be honest, buddy. I've got, at the moment, I would say I'm in the slow death point. So, for example, having deoxidizers in my base, they are generating heat. And having like piping down here that's got hot water in it is generating heat. But eventually I'll cool my base with the oxygen that I pump into my base. So when I finish this build up here, my goal will be to produce oxygen at like less than 20 degrees. That oxygen will then be pumped into my base, and that will regulate my base, rather than pumping hot oxygen into my base and then having to cool my base, if you see what I mean. I'm using like an air conditioning approach of cool the oxygen before it hits, if that makes sense. So it sort of all comes together for me later in the game, if that makes sense. I skirt with death for quite a while, and then once everything's up and running, my bases come together. That's sort of just how I play. So that's what I was saying. Some of these things, if you watch the YouTube videos, you might think, fuck, like living on the edge sort of thing. But it's like now I'm running very low on algae again, but I'm in the middle of doing a million other jobs at the same time rather than doing my oxygen, because I need to do these things before I can get my oxygen online, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I get criticised a lot for how I play, but it's different to some people. Some people are more methodical and deal with each thing as they go, whereas I've got 5 things on the go, if that makes sense. Hey there, do you use jetpack for your inner base? Prom Live, I haven't even built a jetpack yet. I've not got one. From what I've been told, they're very, very laggy at the moment, so I'm not been in a rush to even see one. I think they're probably going to be more useful for in space. In space. Okay. I'll dig all this crap out whilst we're at this as well. That's code for being a spaz. What do you mean, Wachunga? Oh, the jetpacks are a spaz on me. They're kind of laggy, but you don't need to build ladders and floors. I don't know. I haven't played with them yet. We've not got to that point in the game, really. I mean, we're on cycle 200 nearly. I've not even thought that far yet. What's this? Enclosed a bit more controlled, but can be a bit cumbersome. Yeah, I think as you say, Diane, it's sort of horses for courses, really. It's how you want to play. I prefer open bases, but I like closed builds, if that makes sense. I don't mind my bases being open to whatever element. I don't mind them being, you know, airflow can go where it wants, but builds I normally like to enclose. Hold on. And on real Twitch now. Mayo the Crafter. What? And on real Twitch now. What do you mean, sorry? Oh, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, my goal ultimately when we get into the later game, my goal is to start dumping excess oxygen out into the asteroid anyway. So it gets to the point where if you're keeping your dupes busy and outside your base, your oxygen usage in the base is very low. And you end up just pumping a bit of oxygen out into the asteroid regardless to keep your dupes breathing when they're working. So it's later on in the game it gets to the point where you could remove all the outer walls of your base and you wouldn't really feel any difference because everything's oxygenated. That's generally the way. Excuse me. Right. I've nearly done this fire pole now, which should help them get down here a bit quicker to do this stuff. This is the next thing we want them to do, really. They're going to be breathing the oxygen that's in my geyser room, which isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world. It's better than cracking open this, to be honest. I was going to open this, and then I looked at the germs in here and was like, don't really want to do that. Don't really want to do that. Cool, cool, cool. Right, these smooth hatches are hatching. I need a space for them. Should I do it down here? Should I do that? You want an enclosed, self-sustaining base, but it seems impossible until late game. It depends what your aspirations are, really. Like, self-sustaining is quite a strange term. If your goal is to have 3 dupes that can be, you know, easily fed, watered, and happy, an enclosed base is very, very easy. If you want to have a big sprawling base, sorry, a self-sufficient base is easy. If you want to have a big sprawling base with all sorts of funky machinery and power requirements and stuff, then it gets a little bit more tricky. But it kind of depends what your aspirations are. I like to be able to be in a position late game where I can do whatever I want. If I want to build a liquid oxygen maker, I can do it no problem. I'll just run a wire there and away I go. If I want to, you know, do one of anything, I can. So the outside of the base is full of oxygen until you derp and dig into space vacuum. I did that last stream, I think, and then I just waterlocked it. It was fine. No problem. Space nearly beat me for a minute, and then we got him. Right, I'm going to rip these pipes out. I'll just rip it out from here. I should have probably done this before I got rid of the floor, but never mind. We had a little bit of a space leak last stream, that was all. Try removing the excess gases outside your base, excluding O2 is a way to reduce lag. It makes zero difference, never before. Makes zero difference. If you have even a vacuum, like I did tests of this a long time ago, where I had a base it was a stream base, one that we played for 600 or 700 cycles, and it got very, very laggy. So I went into debug and I started doing some tests, and I filled in every single block of the outside of the base to begin with, filled in every single tile with just one material, so it was just tiled everywhere. That made no difference to FPS. I removed every single gas and made it a vacuum, so there was no temperature change or anything. That made no difference. I swept everything off the floor. I mopped every single bit of liquid on the map. That made a bit of difference. You're not going to fix this game by worrying too much about the outside of the base. It's the biggest thing that affects it is pathing more than anything, and pathing within your base especially, because you often have, or I do anyway, lots and lots of different routes and ladders and rooms that dupes can go through. Until this game is opened up to more cores, I think late game lag is always going to be a problem. It's that simple, I'm afraid. I don't think it's ever going to get optimized without allowing more processor usage. So I think that's the main thing. But yeah, I've done a lot of tests. I made a long thread on the forum showing all these different things that I did and the FPS changes it had. Things like sweeping up every bit of clutter on the map. I think it gave me like one FPS or 2 FPS different. Clearing every single liquid gave me about 5 or 6 FPS. So it's not massive changes, but it made it playable arguably, but only just. And to do that in a normal game without debug would have been a nightmare. Like, big deal. I don't understand why they don't shove Pathfinder onto new cores. Don't know, mate. I honestly don't know. It is a strange one. But, you know, again, who knows? Who knows what will happen? But yeah, at the moment there's very little you can do about it, unfortunately. Oh, I haven't rummaged in these. Rummage. Let's find some shirts. I've not done any snazzy suits or anything. Let's get a narco in. Narcoleptic Night Owl. Research, ranch and supply. We're getting the night crew in. Narcoleptic. I know you're a night owl, but we're going to put you on narcos. It was Abe, wasn't it? Was that who we just got in, Abe? I think it was. Let's give him a